This is the NBA Special Edition Fant4sy Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Fant4sy Podcast, and we have Landon,
Andrew,
Lord,
and Doug.
Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 3 of our second season, if you will. And last episode, we had our All-Star Game predictions, All-Star Weekend predictions. And this episode, we will be going over those predictions. So to start out, we'll begin with the Celebrity Game, which took place on February 17th, from Friday night. It's Team Dwayne Wade taking on Team Ryan Smith. There was one guy out there on the court that just looked miles better than everyone else, and he happened to be on Team Dwayne Wade, and he took home the MVP for the winning team, and that was DK Metcalf winning for Team Dwayne Wade. What do you guys think about what DK did out there on the court?
he did exactly what we thought he was going to. Yeah. Everyone,
he was the best athlete on the court.
Yeah, he didn't disappoint. He didn't overachieve. He did exactly what everyone thought he was going to do.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. 4 blocks. He looked like Jaren Jackson out there, just better offensively, honestly.
Oh, wow.
He's a lot more athletic. Jaren Jackson's offensive game is just not incredible. But anyways, DK Metcalf played incredible. That shot from the Miz at the end of the game, I know, Doug, you love that. What do you got to say about that, Doug?
I didn't really watch the game. I did see multiple clips of The Miz, and I do believe I talked about The Miz in the last podcast being a game changer. So it was almost there, just a couple seconds left. They should have counted it, just the dice rolling or whatever, but yeah, it's just I was the only one to pick them, and they unfortunately lost pretty bad. So
yeah, it was a pretty good game, 81-78. That shot, was that worth 4 points? That Miz?
Yeah, it would have been for the win.
So they would have won the game. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, he was a few milliseconds off, probably a second off maybe, but fun little game every year. It's hard to really disappoint in that game.
Yeah.
Just you have so many icons and guys there, but
I was a big fan of the Richard Jefferson situation where he was a commentator in the first quarter, he was a ref in the second quarter, and then he was a player in the third. that was pretty fun. I liked how they did that.
I love when Giannis said what he said to him when he was being a ref. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But we'll move on. Who all did we all have Team Wade, or I know someone had to have Team Smith, huh?
Yeah, I think Doug did.
Well, 0-1.
that's why I cared so much so much about The Miz, because I was the only one to pick them.
That makes sense. Well, I'm sorry you had to start out with a loss. Hopefully you can come back here with that. Maybe
I'm
skills
I'm not.
Hey, you never know. Move on to the next event, and that was the Jordan Rising Stars game, which took place after the Celebrity Game. Game 1 was Team Pau Gasol, and they were taking on Team Deron Williams. And I had Team Pau from the get-go, the tryhards, and as we see right here, Jose Alvarado 13 points, Paulo Banchero 9 points. And those are two of the names, of the few names that I said and mentioned for this team that would excel and be tryhards, and they went out there and won the first game by 15 points. And Trey Murphy and Bones Highland did their thing for Team Deron Williams, but it just wasn't enough to outlast the tryhards on the Team Pau side. So I had Team Pau in that one. Andrew?
Yeah, I was really high on one guy, and let me just tell you, he did not disappoint. He was probably the best performer on the floor. That's Quentin Grimes.
Yep.
And for Team Joakim. And I told you guys, he's a mini Klay Thompson. He went out there and shot 4 for 4 from 3 in one game, and he was getting steals. That man is a lot better than people give him credit for because he plays in New York. So you really can't tell. If he played anywhere else, you would really see his talent. I did like Team Powell, though, and you're right. There's a lot of tryhards there. So I was not surprised to see Team Powell go out there and hoop. But like I said, my guy, Quentin Grimes, went out there and scored 13 points in their first game. And then against Team Powell, he scored 14 and got 2 blocks as well. So that's my takeaway from it, is the guy I thought he was going to show up, showed up.
2 big games out of Quentin. Just couldn't get much help there, at least in the second game, or the championship, rather. Josh Giddey did a little bit of help. Only 2 points, though. He had 3 rebounds and assists and a steal. Did his part. Ford, who did you have in this Rising Stars game?
I had Team Powell. I mean, I honestly didn't get to catch the game, so I didn't see what really went down, but I did have Team Powell.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, Doug, what you got?
Yeah, I also had Team Powell for the first game as well. Just like Ford said, I didn't watch it or anything, but I'm glad things worked out for him.
Yep. Evan Mobley, he was game 2. He was really there with Quentin Grimes to help them get past the G Leaguers. He had an incredible game: 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Can't really do much better than that in that little of game time. And he got Team Joakim to the championship, where they fell to the tryhards and Team Powell. So I'll take my 2-0 lead, and we'll move on. Me and Ford both 2-0. Shout out. Move on to Saturday. Saturday night was a good one, if you will, to some people. Could be better. Hopefully it's better next year. But start out on Saturday night, it was the Kia Skills Challenge. And took place between 3 teams. And the hometown team, the Utah Jazz, had Walker Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, and Colin Sexton. Team Rooks consisted of Paulo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and Jabari Smith. And Team Antetokounmpo was not really their complete team, as Giannis was barring his injury. He didn't compete, obviously. Drew Holiday filled in that spot, along with Giannis's 2 brothers, Alex and Thanasis. And they looked horrible. I mean, they looked pitiful. I don't know if I've ever seen a skills challenge, or at least from the shooting portion. That team looked pitiful. They couldn't knock down anything. I mean, they lost to the Rooks in the passes. Jury did his thing, but Alex and Thanasis, I don't know. They really drugged that team down, I would say.
This is exactly what I said would happen.
Yeah.
Exactly what I said. I said the skills challenge, it's fun, the passes, but it comes down to which team can shoot. And I picked the Jazz for that reason. And, I mean, Team Antetokounmpo got shooting with Drew Holiday, and they still couldn't even win one. Team Rooks put on an absolute, I mean, it was bad. It was a dumpster fire. They couldn't make anything. And you would expect some of those guys to go out there and just make something. But I was pretty confident with Team Jazz because I had the crowd behind them, and the crowd didn't have much to cheer for that weekend. So I was very confident in my pick, and they ended up coming through.
Anyone else have Team Jazz along with Andrew?
Nah, I had the Rooks.
Unfortunately not. I had the Rooks as well.
I, as well, had the Rooks. So Andrew hops back in the lead with me and Ford, and Doug is 0-3.
Sorry,
I mean,
Doug.
As much of the key of skills challenge is just inevitable.
I think I remember who Doug picked to win the 3-point contest, and I can't wait to get to that.
He might be 0-5.
Oh no! I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk. I might just get up and bro. Because at the start of this, I was gonna say something about like I don't even want to talk about none of this because none of it was good for me. But yeah,
none of it was good, bro. It was all weird.
That's too bad though, because our next.
No, just go ahead and go with it.
It's the 3-point contest.
Yeah.
First round, let's just get it out of there. Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, what in the world, Andrew? What was that?
I don't know.
Where'd that come from?
I think the one thing that I overlooked, because I was talking down on him last time when we did the predictions, I think the one thing I overlooked is he doesn't really jump much on his shot, and guys like that tend to have a better chance in the 3-point contest because they can last the whole round. And they can move quickly. So I didn't think he was a streaky shooter. He proved me wrong, though. That was tied for the greatest 3-point contest performance ever with Steph Curry, who was the greatest shooter of all time. So he definitely hushed me up in the first round.
Hit both of those 4-pointers and hit I think 3 or 4 of the money balls. I mean, it was an incredible round. I did not think he was going to go out there and do that.
No one did. I didn't know if he did.
Yeah, and his shooting form, I heard that, he could barely get the ball up as a kid, so, that's why he shoots it like that, and it has a nice little way it rolls, and I guess it rolls in his advantage, the way it spins, so good for him, I guess. Along with Tyrese Halliburton in the first round, his teammate in Indiana also moved on. Shout out to Buddy. Me and Ford had him. Don't want to spoil anything, but I'm going to. He didn't win the entire thing. Buddy had a nice first round. He had 23 points. Shot pretty well, obviously, to get past the first round. And lastly, we have Damian Lillard securing the third and final spot in the final round of the 3-point contest with 26 points. In the second round, Damian Lillard put up 26 once again. And Buddy, he went right before Dame, and he had 25. And watching Dame get that 26 point and picking Buddy, it really hurt. But you can't really be upset with Damian Lillard winning the 3-point contest. So, anyone here have Damian Lillard? No.
I think I made the point. I think I picked Jason Tatum, which didn't end up being too bad. He was the first one out. Or the last one out, I guess. But I did make the point of saying I think I said on this show I hope that Damian Lillard wins, so he has another trophy that doesn't mean anything. And that's what happened. Now he has a bubble MVP trophy and a 3-point contest trophy that he's worked so hard to get. So congratulations to him. As a Thunder fan, I'm really excited that he has 2 meaningless trophies, and that'll not go in his Hall of Fame resume. No one cares about these trophies except for him. So
I'm not upset with our pick of Buddy Hield for
I'm not either.
Securing second place by 1 point. Can't really be upset.
Yeah.
Congrats, Dame.
I think there's one person that should be upset is Doug.
Contestant 7, Kevin Twerter, was picked by Doug here, and Kevin finished with do we know? I wish we knew the lowest score in the dunk contest history or 3-point contest history. You picked Kevin Murder, so you have 0 room to talk. He scored 8 points, and he was so bad he couldn't even finish every single shot. He didn't finish the last rack, Doug.
Yeah.
8 points and still didn't finish the last rack.
I didn't watch it.
Okay, now I'm telling you.
So he scored 8. The lowest ever is tied between Deadlift Shrimp and Michael Jordan at 5. But Deadlift Shrimp and Michael Jordan didn't have a Moneyball rack and didn't have the 2 long balls. So that's this is probably the worst 3-point contest performance of all time.
It's 8 more points in a 3-point contest that you'll ever have. So just realize that.
Say what? Say it again.
I don't know. Yeah,
Just going through it.
Kevin Herter did the worst.
0-4
Hurrah.
for Doug. We can move on to the next event.
Who did Andrew have picked?
I think I picked Tatum.
Tatum.
I think I did.
Tatum had a solid, 20 points. And Lori. Lori went out there and had a decent first round as well.
Yeah.
Julius Randle filled in for Anthony Simons, by the way. That was not a wise choice for fill in. I could have gone out there and probably, if I took a week to just shoot those same 5 shots, 7 shots, there's a chance I could get 14. Doug's a hater because he's 0-4 and he picked Kevin Herter, who probably had the worst performance in 3-point history.
Bro, it's Kevin Herter. I don't know why you're saying Herter.
I mean, still the same thing. 8 points. You're 0-4.
I heard you.
Does the Herter pronunciation make you feel any better? The correct on me? Does it? It doesn't. I'm sorry. Move on.
Before we do move on, I just want to point out that the idea of saying you could go out there and do the same thing, or if not better than Kevin Herter, is actually a valid point. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but I mean, most of us could go out there if we practiced and tried for a little bit, because Kevin Hart went out there in 2016 and beat Draymond Green in a 3-point contest. I think he scored 10, which would be more than Kevin Herter. So Kevin Hart would beat Kevin Herter in a 3-point contest. Let's just make that known.
Well, it's a cool stat. I like it.
It's an embarrassing
Last
stat.
event.
That's what it is.
The last event of this Saturday night was one of the most anticipated, and just it turned out well for maybe one and a half of the contestants, but every other dunk was just cool. I've seen this. I could do this myself in my backyard on a mini hoop. It's not very exciting. I want something I can't do on my own mini hoop in the backyard. At least that. And these guys did not provide it this Saturday night at the dunk contest. KJ Martin, Mac McClung, Trey Murphy had a decent outing, and Jericho Sims was probably the most disappointing. It was ugly. Who wants to see you? So he dips in for the letter, right? He goes to grab the letter, comes down, he rips it open. Like, the least you can do is open the letter properly, bro. And he couldn't even, I know it was just a number inside, but if it wasn't, you couldn't even read it. He ripped it. I mean, I hated what Jericho Sims did, and it was just an abysmal pick on my part. So I apologize, everyone, for picking Jericho Sims.
No, I picked him too.
I think Andrew did too.
Yeah.
Ford, who'd you have in this one?
I had Mac McClung in this one, actually.
I like it. Well,
he showed out for sure.
He didn't disappoint once, I would say.
No.
Every single dunk attempt he had was done on the first attempt, and they were all amazing. Doug, who did you have in this?
Jericho Sims.
You were also Jericho Sims. We all bit the bullet here. Congrats, Ford. Matt McClung had 3 50s and a 49.8 out of his 4 dunks, which is 199.8 out of 200.
That's insane.
There's just nothing you could really do to beat that. Trey Murphy, his dunks were okay. Could have been better. But hopefully I'm just hoping we get some better contestants in the dunk contest next year and they actually put on a show.
Yeah, we're not going to get better contestants. No one wants to do it anymore. it's lost its stardom. Like they
Should
offered
really hire professional dunkers.
Yeah, they offered LeBron $1 million to do it, and he still says no. Why would anyone else do it? Like that's just. I think that Jericho Sims is a great dunker. I think he went out there and just didn't prepare well enough, and just kind of put it together. It seems like he came up with ideas the night before the dunk contest. Like he procrastinated, and the night before he was like, "Oh, I'll do this."
Yeah.
On the dunk with the letter, I don't know if you noticed, he didn't even do it right. He was trying to grab the letter on his way up, and he missed it, and he grabbed the net. And so after he was already on the rim, then he grabbed it, and he still ripped the letter. It's just like nothing went right for him. He did the honey dip in both of his dunks for whatever reason. He's already 7 foot tall. We know you can do that. That's not even cool anymore. Like I feel like he had so much more potential. He has the highest vertical in the NBA and one of the highest in the history of the NBA. And he went out there and did the most boring thing he possibly could have done. I was very disappointed.
Me as well. He almost made me throw up each time he dunked the ball just because it was so disgusting
Had to look
compared
away.
to what he could have done or just what could have been is all I have to say. Jericho Sims, you were a disappointment. Mac McClung, thank you for. I mean, he saved the dunk contest. What'd you say?
No, he definitely did.
I mean, if he wasn't there,
for him, it would have been the most boring dunk contest.
very,
There
very.
have been some
cool.
bad ones lately too, but ever since right after the Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon era, man, those dunk contests were unreal. The Zach LaVine going between the legs of the free throw line, like the stuff that they did, I just feel like we're not going to see unless we get those kinds of guys in the dunk contest every year. This could be Mac McClung's contest to win for the next 5 years unless someone steps up to the plate.
Yeah, I'm glad he signed a contract with the 76ers. Hopefully he does something with that. I know he's a fan favorite now. I think so. Yeah. Moving on, Sunday night, we had the NBA All-Star game between the two NBA teams, players. What? Team Giannis, Team LeBron. First overall pick for Giannis got first draft pick, and he did not pick Drew Holiday. I thought that was very odd. And LeBron picked Anthony Edwards with his first pick. Not what I was expecting. And I have to throw in here that when it was down to him and Laurie, and he walked down to LeBron, I thought that was hilarious and funny. I think it wasn't Jokic's birthday. Imagine being last pick on your birthday. I think he had to just walk down there and just claim that he was not going to be last pick.
He also didn't know. He thought he was the last pick. He said he didn't see Larry Markkinen behind him, and so he just walked down, and he apologized to him after the game. But yeah, it was still so funny.
Very funny.
I think. Sorry, I don't want to move on from this. I have to go back to it. I think the draft before the All-Star game was a fantastic idea. I think it was probably the best thing they've done with the All-Star game in the past 20 years. I think it was fun. The players loved it. Obviously, the fans loved it. And there was just some funny moments where Giannis tried to pick Ja Morant as a reserve, and he was a starter. That stuff that really set the tone for the All-Star game. But Disney.
Giannis. Talk about his two, I guess you would say, most helpful picks of this draft to be the MVP of this game, Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. Jason Tatum had a whopping 55 points, setting an All-Star game record, along with 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Donovan Mitchell put up 40 himself with 4 rebounds, 10 assists, and 3 steals. These guys combined for 95 points. That's just a crazy number. All-Star game, mid again, probably. I honestly would just want to see 1v1. King of the Court would be amazing. I think that would be so much fun, but who knows if we'll ever get what we want. And for Team LeBron, LeBron played about half of this game and started tryharding and injured his finger trying to block someone, got stuck in the rim. Surely he'll be all right soon. And Giannis played, 2 minutes, I think, and just
20
sat
seconds.
the rest of the game and coached 20 seconds and just decided to sit the rest of the game, which obviously didn't really matter. His team still ended up winning 184 to 175. Who all had Team Giannis? Do we remember?
I didn't. I did not.
We didn't
I
pick.
think I
They
had
didn't have
Bron,
to.
but I don't know.
Oh, did we pick?
I think we just said at the very end.
Just 1 second we all just did it. But I know I had LeBron or Giannis.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had Giannis. I picked Giannis because I said he would try hard.
No, I
He-
definitely had Giannis too. I definitely had Giannis with Landon. I remember
I think
that.
I had Braun because he had
So,
more assists.
Yeah, I did
for
too.
I think
six.
Doug ended up being 0-6, I believe, or 0-5.
Hey, just let me say this is why I don't bet on the NBA. This is why I don't like the NBA. It's just retarded, really.
Hey,
So-
R word. Let's hold it down on the R word. Okay.
He's
NBA is
watching too much South Park.
too much. But it was. Just give it a rank. 1 to 10. Everyone give a rank for this All-Star weekend. I'll start 5.
Yeah, it's probably a 5 or a 4. Average or below average.
4.
Yeah, I'm going 3 or 4. Like the only big moments were Mac McClung and Dame winning the 3-point contest just because it's Dame.
I mean, this is me being generous. A 2, maybe. If not like a 1.8. I didn't even watch. This is the worst All-Star weekend of all time. I saw clips of the All-Star game, bro, and they were just standing and watching the dude score. Like, yeah, he's gonna have 55 points if you just letting him score buckets the entire time.
Andrew, what do you think about the SGA on what he said about LeBron blocking his shot?
What did he say about LeBron blocking a shot? I missed
Oh,
that.
he went to go. He drove past in the lane and to just go dunk the ball, and LeBron just
I remember
was
the
in
play.
the corner. Yeah, and SGA said in an interview, he was like, I don't know why LeBron decided out of all people, he was going to try and block my shot, but he's got something coming next year along the lines of that, is what he said, which I thought was maybe that sparks a little something for next year's All-Star game.
I mean,
But I don't know.
truthfully, LeBron has something coming for him this year.
For
The
sure.
Thunder were expected to be the worst team in the NBA, and they're above the Lakers, who are expected to be a top 5 seed. So he can talk however much he wants. He's averaging over 30 points a game. He's above the Lakers in the standings, and they're not even fully healthy, and they're young, and they have 1,000 draft picks. So I think that's good for SGA to say that to LeBron. That's good for him. And until LeBron can prove that his team is good, then at least better than the Thunder, then I think that's a good little dialogue.
Yeah. Thought it was a little healthy.
Hey, I got a question. What do y'all think of the pregame dap-ups with LeBron and all the players? What do y'all think of that? Y'all think that was cool? Which dab do you think was the best?
Which one did you think was the best, Doug?
Probably Laurie Markkinen.
Okay.
It was quick and smooth.
Could you show us?
About 0.5 seconds. Can I show you the dap?
Yeah.
It was about like
I liked how
I
LeBron
agree.
tried to tear Damian Lillard's rotator cuff. That was pretty good. He absolutely smacked his hand. So, good old LeBron. Gotta love him.
So, All-Star weekend in and out. And hopefully it's better next year. Thanks, Mac McClung, for the most exciting portion of the All-Star game. So that concludes the All-Star game, the All-Star weekend.
Wait,
in
before
fact.
before we go though, I think we need to mention one important factor that was missing from the All-Star game.
Speak it.
Steph Curry. Steph Curry was not there for anything this weekend. He wasn't in the 3-point contest. He wasn't in the game because he was hurt. Last year, the game was about what it was this year. It was just kind of mediocre. It was a little bit better. What made it great is Steph Curry going out there and hitting ridiculous shots, and that's the kind of stuff that elevates All-Star games. Is doing things that, one, you can't normally get away with in a normal game, and two, just continuing to do it, just taking over a game. So I'm hoping that next year it's more competitive, but also we get guys like Steph Curry back in there because he's just so fun to watch. And the guys that are normally fun to watch were not fun to watch this time around. It was quite disappointing, but
Dame had a few good shots,
but he was shooting
other than that,
everything.
Yeah, I think almost every shot he had was a 3. So
yeah, he was shooting absolutely every possession. He was hogging.
Yeah, he didn't care. He just won the 3-point contest when we got here. It's probably my 16th All-Star or 16th year in the league. My 13th All-Star appearance. Let's just go out there and have a little bit of fun and throw every shot up. But yeah, that concludes All-Star Weekend, and the biggest winner, I think, was myself having Giannis.
Yeah, I think it was.
Tied.
Ford and I tied.
Oh, because the dunk contest,
Yeah.
Hey, trying to pull a little quick one there.
Hey, at least you're not the biggest. You're not the biggest loser this week. All right.
True.
Oh my.
That's something to be proud of, Doug.
Well,
You're not going to be the biggest loser next time we do something like this. All right. You're going to win it because you just won. Hey, you just won the Super Bowl. Okay, you just won the playoffs, so you had to let someone else take the crown for a little bit. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is the Fant4sy Podcast, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.